Um, Wait.
We are now recording the episode, Houston.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Houston, I have fantastic news.
You do? What's the
Are you
news?
ready? This is visual news.
Really? Okay.
I'm wearing purple pants.
Oh my God. That's
My
so
pants are
cool.
purple. They're not really showing up quite how purple my pants are right now on screen, but my pants are purple. And I just wanted you to know before we start our episode that I now have a purple mattress, which is extremely exciting, and purple pants, which is also extremely exciting.
That's really cool. I love purple pants.
Purple pants are great. Purple is a great color.
It is a great color. I love purple.
You know why I like purple so much?
Why do you
Are
like
you ready
purple
for the
so much?
segue? This is a really good segue. Are you ready? Okay. Purple is the mixture of red and blue,
Ow.
which makes
Really?
America.
That's
Dude,
so
that was a
exciting.
really good segue, and I'm really proud of myself. Speaking of
Red
red
and blue.
and blue, let us now discuss America.
America.
America,
America.
America. Oh, I don't know what song we were going for there at all. But
I don't
okay.
either.
I enjoyed it. It was an experience. Was it, good? No. But I enjoyed it. Okay.
Okay.
With all this said. 2020, I think it is fair to say, was an objectively bad year. We're still in 2020. It's now December 23rd when we're recording this. But I think it's fair to say that, over the next 7 or 8 days, is December 30 days or 31 days? I never know. Very bad at those kinds of things. But the point is,
The little moniker. 30 days have September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31 days except February. So it's
fuck
31.
February. No one likes February.
But
Um,
it's Valentine's Day in February. It's like the
yeah, I
love
know.
month.
Yeah. I always feel bad for those people who were born on the leap day. Because
Oh,
they don't actually have that many birthdays. They only have a birthday every 4 years. It's like the fuck. But leap days are the same day, same year as election years, which is interesting. Yeah.
huh.
If you ever want to know if it's the fourth year, election year is the fourth year. Okay, so that's the thing.
Okay.
Anyway,
And we're talking about elections.
we're talking about elections. So the reason we're talking about elections is because both of us were very upset about 2020 for a variety of reasons. Let's go through those reasons now, please.
Okay.
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 Reason number one. Okay. Orange Man, bad.
Right.
That's my first reason. Orange Man is bad.
Yeah. Very bad.
Orange Man is noticeably bad. We don't like Orange Man.
No.
And so my guttural hatred. Should I go with guttural or visceral? They mean the same thing, but I feel like visceral is a sexier sounding
Well,
word.
visceral is like an adverse reaction to seeing something, and
Mm.
then guttural is like a gut reaction.
Oh, they are different. You're totally right. Okay. I retract my previous statement. My visceral reaction to the existence of Donald J. Trump as a human being, and particularly of Donald J. Trump as president.
Right.
That's the first problem.
Hmm.
The second problem is the effect that Donald Trump being president, I think, had on the Democratic establishment. So going into 2016, we were in a very interesting spot. And the spot we were was that, we were coming out of an 8-year presidency of Obama, who had done, he'd killed a lot of babies overseas. Don't get me wrong. But other than that, and other than the fact that he was having slave camps on our border, which is also not ideal. And other than the fact that after winning the Nobel Prize, he tortured people, which is also not ideal. And other than the fact that he was spying on all of us, which is not ideal and is also, low key, high key, very unconstitutional. And other than the fact that blah, 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 he was
What's
like a
the point?
marginally, the point is that he was like a marginally okay president. That's the point. And so, coming out of that, I think that we as a country, particularly on the left, believed that we could do better.
Right.
We we thought that the baseline of a country was like a higher baseline. And that means that we're willing to take what are considered to be more risky opportunities to improve our future. The problem is when Trump becomes president. So to clarify, and that's the reason that I think Bernie Sanders was able to do so well, right? Like, I think that had Bernie run in 08, well, we kind of know what it looked like if Bernie had won in 08, because Mike Gravel ran in 08 and said a lot of the Bernie Sanders stuff. And Mike Gravel is not president. Mike Gravel did not get 40%. Mike Gravel did not get 10%. Mike Gravel was a loser by a lot. But Bernie wasn't. Bernie was able to really galvanize support from a huge proportion of the Democratic people. And some of those are young people, but some of those people are people who have been members of the Democratic Party for a long period of time, were supporters of Obama, or were supporters of Clinton in 08, and have been able to be shifted, I think, pretty radically to the left. Okay. The question, therefore, is what can we do to set ourselves up for a future where a Bernie Sanders is possible? And I do think that having Biden in office, or let's be honest, having Harris in office from 2021 onwards, because let's keep it real, he's going to fucking die. But I think that having that sort of Democratic establishment possession over power is, while obviously not ideal, setting ourselves up in either 4 years or 8 years for a much better place. That's my hope, at least.
Right. But I think it's also up to us to kind of keep pushing for that agenda, because as we see, the Democratic Party as an establishment is kind of maybe tone deaf, or like stuck in their ways of going with what works. And so they're like, oh yeah, we had this kind of like middle of the road guy who won in 2008, and then he won again in 2012. So let's try the same thing for 2016, but it didn't work because for multiple reasons. But
It didn't work for multiple reasons.
and then they tried the same thing in 2020, which
Right.
worked for different reasons.
Well, I got to be honest, it didn't work in 2020. That's the other thing that I think that
it worked because it happened. Like, he got elected.
I don't think that. So okay, so here's my take. Okay. Worst economy in decades.
Sure.
Just a fact, right?
Yeah.
300,000 people dead.
Yeah.
Just a fact, right? The huge factionalization, and sort of forceful opposition between the CDC and the president during the worst plague since 1918.
Yeah.
Right? We're talking about a literal level of death that eclipse 9/11 every single day.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're talking about right now. We're talking about a president who failed at the most fundamental level to, do his duty to defend American lives. And you're telling me that we lost seats in the Congress. We still have the Congress, but we lost seats in the Congress.
Yeah.
You're telling me we're probably not going to get the Senate, right? It's possible that we're gonna win in Georgia, both of those seats. I think it's very unlikely, but it's possible.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that we managed to barely scrape by on mail-in ballots at the presidential level.
Yeah. But I don't think that speaks to the validity of Joe Biden, but I think the message and the way that the Democratic Party is going about this whole thing, um, because I feel like they're underestimating the power that Trump has and the power that
Right.
those his constituents have and the power that like the Republican Party as like a solid entity has. And they're
Mm-hmm.
kind of just like they're bad. Obviously, you can see they're bad, so vote for us. But like
Right.
the issue is they don't care that they're bad. The issue is that they know that they're bad and they know that like people are dying. They know that this stuff
Of
is
course.
happening,
Of course.
but they're still gonna vote for them anyway because that's kind of the messaging and the kind of how solid the Republican Party is in their lives and how solid like
It's
it's
not
just a
just how, yeah, I think that's right. I don't think it's just that they're solid in their lies. It's that we're not solid in our truth. I mean,
interesting.
like, okay, this is the most lukewarm take you will ever hear. Here's my lukewarm take. When there's a pandemic and hundreds of thousands of people are dead because of the
Yeah,
pandemic, you should run on healthcare.
right. Yeah,
But Joe Biden feels the need to try to pretend that he's running on Charlottesville?
right,
Like,
right.
what? What are you talking about? You're trying to run on issues that, well, to be clear, very real,
Yeah,
are a matter of one woman died because of 1,000 white supremacists, because of a thousand anti-Semites. That's what you're going to talk about? Really?
yeah. So
300,000 people are dead.
I feel like it works for in the context of I think that's the thing that you can say that got you to run in the first place, right? I don't think it's the thing that you keep
But you
talking
can't run
about
on it.
and like
Exactly.
I no, sorry, I mean inspired you to run. Like you can say
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
saw
sure.
this
For
hatred and
sure.
I saw
For
all of
sure.
this awful and this anti-Semitism, this like white supremacy, and I said to myself, I can do something to change this, and I want to do something to change this. That's fine and good. But when everyone's dying and you have like a very real crisis on your hands,
Mm-hmm.
why not talk about why not
Right.
push healthcare?
Right, exactly. And we spent the whole entire freaking primary talking about the difference between Medicare for all that would effectively end private insurance and the value of that, the benefits of that. I happen to support that system over the one that Biden supports. But Biden still supports healthcare. If you look at his website, it's not like he's just like, just leave it as it is, man. No, he wants a public option. He wants a very good public option. He wants a public option that's wildly expanded over its current system. And so, like, and also he's the one who everyone knows him because of Obama. Why do we know Obama? Because of Obamacare.
Right.
Like, what is Obama's legacy beyond Obamacare? That's his most important thing that he did in office by far.
Yeah.
Absolutely by far. And so, like, the fact that Biden wasn't talking about that every single day and nothing else ever is insane to me. Just genuinely insane to me. And there was also just like rampant incompetence. So an example is like I was working on the campaign in Pennsylvania. I go to school in Pennsylvania in Pittsburgh, and so I was on the campaign. My friend was also in the campaign. He was in a much higher position than I was. He just sort of pulled me in in the last like 3 weeks and was like, Jonah, like freaking do stuff. And I was like, yeah, okay. But he was very involved, and
Right.
he had sent an email to the Democratic National Committee. Okay, in literally, I think it was August, like way before the actual election, right? He was talking about this like for forever. And he was saying, hey, like, we know that mail-in ballots are going to be really important. And we know that mail-in ballots are going to be really important specifically in Pennsylvania. And we know that a lot of people aren't prepared, haven't ever used a mail-in ballot before in their lives. but all of a sudden are planning to use a mail-in ballot. When Democrats ask, people who are registered Democrats ask for a mail-in ballot and then they don't return it, we should call them and say, hey, have you returned your mail-in ballot? Because of course we should.
Yeah.
Because obviously we want them to return their ballot so that we
Right.
get their vote.
Right.
Because this is the most like brain dead obvious thing in the world.
Sure.
Okay. Tom Perez does not get back to him. He sends another email. Tom Perez does not get back to him. He sends another email. Tom Perez does not get back to him. We finally get that list of people literally on election day at 5:00 p.m. So obviously it's way too late to get in your mail-in ballot.
Right.
And all of a sudden, we have dozens of volunteers stop whatever they're doing and start calling up a bunch of people, many of whom that, I called one person who was in Florida. And I told her, hey, we haven't gotten your mail-in ballot. And she was convinced that I was a Republican. She was convinced. No, seriously. She was.
No, I
and
mean, that
why
makes
wouldn't
sense.
she? Why
Yeah.
wouldn't she? She was convinced I
Yeah.
was a Republican who was trying to like get her to cancel her vote. Because of course she is. We terrified, quite literally, thousands of members of the Democratic Party in a manner that they couldn't fix anything.
Sure.
And if we had done that correctly, we very well could have pulled in an extra 5,000 votes in Pennsylvania, which fucking matters a lot.
Yeah.
So it's not just that like Mitch McConnell is so good at his job, which to be clear, Mitch McConnell is very good at his job. I hate him, but he's a genius and he's really good at his job.
An evil genius.
An evil genius. Exactly right. It's not just that Mitch McConnell is so good at his job. It's that the Democratic establishment is so bad at their job. It's
because
really astounding.
They're not cohesive enough, I don't think.
Right.
They're not like we have like a left wing, we have a very left wing, we have like a centrist wing, we have like these different kinds of people with different kinds of views. And we don't have a central message. Some people say like AOC, like, oh, we need the Green New Deal, and Biden's like, I don't know about that. And then like
But the thing is that like, yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that. I mean, we were talking. We're later going to be releasing an episode on climate, and obviously, I don't support the Green New Deal. I support a carbon dividend. But like, we're the only party who cares at all, who even gives lip service to caring about climate change.
Sure.
Right? The only one.
Right.
The Republicans have drastically different, viewpoints on like how exactly they should implement their policy. But when it comes time to say, like, I want to cut taxes, all the Republicans say, rah, rah, woohoo, regardless of how they're cutting taxes. That's just something that they want. When it comes time to, like, get their court appointees, they just all get in line. They're like, yeah, I want some court appointees who are going to, like, be against abortion, whatever it is. Like they're cohesive in terms of their actions, even though they're distinct in terms of their ultimate goals, because they recognize correctly that to get to any of the far right goals that they want to get to, they first have to pull the entire country to the right.
Yeah.
And there's a problem on the left where people are so quick to fetishize Medicare for all, so quick to fetishize the Green New Deal, so quick to fetishize like specific policy proposals, specific sort of brands, if you will, that they don't, excuse me, they don't allow progress to happen. They get in their own way.
Right. Because I think these things are like bigger goals, right? You have like, even if you were to do the Green New Deal or the carbon dividend or whatever, you have to take smaller steps to get there. And you have to be cohesive in doing that. You can't just say
Right.
one day like, oh, we're going to have the Green New Deal,
Right.
right? You have to get the seats, get the votes, get the people to make that happen, and then put the step. And we're just so bad at doing that.
We're so bad at doing that. Okay. So with that all said, when we look for a president, we need a couple of things. One, we need someone who can beat Donald J. Trump Jr. Or possibly Donald J. Trump Sr. in a debate. That's the first thing we need. Let's be real. I mean, like the Democrats.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, Biden barely scraped away a victory, but he certainly didn't win the debates. Right.
Yeah.
The debates are not about policy. The debates
No.
are about who can get the sexiest zinger. And Joe Biden is not good at zingers. And
No.
Harris is good at zingers in as much as she can get a good punch in, but it's also very easy to punch her. Tulsi Gabbard proved that. Right. And so
I also think going up against what's his face, Mike Pence, was to her favor.
I think that's right. I
Yeah.
don't think that Pence is nearly as strong as people give him credit for. I think that Pence is a little bit of an anti-suit, frankly. But I don't think that Mike Pence is going to be president ever, unless there's a pardon in the next 20 days before Trump leaves office, and he wants to get himself pardoned by making Pence president for 10 days in order to do that. But the point is, I doubt that it's going to happen. Even if that does happen, which is the conspiracist in me talking, and I don't think it will. But I don't think a Pence is ever going to actually like run and become president in the conventional way, because like that's just not where the support of the party belongs. The support of the party belongs in a very sort of fascistic way, and admittedly this has happened before, but a fascistic way to a particular family. That's happened with the Bushes before. That's happened with the Clintons before on our side. That's happened before a lot of times, right? But I think it's bad. Okay.
Sure.
That's why everyone's like, I want Michelle Obama to be president. I'm like, she's never even been a senator. She's never even been a congresswoman. Like, whatever. Doesn't matter. I don't want to do that. The whole point.
Anyway.
I have such a bad cough. It's as if I just smoked weed, but I have not smoked weed. And it's very frustrating. I have all of like the problems of smoking weed and none of the benefits. Okay. With all this said, It is time to look forward, not back.
Yeah.
What are your plans for 2024?
So I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more donating and definitely doing a lot more campaigning. I think for me personally, it's important to kind of get involved and to get other people involved and informed, because I think a big issue going into the 2000s, I guess, is that people really didn't know or care about politics, and it didn't really affect them. Or it did affect them, but they either didn't know or didn't care. Or it wasn't like a frontline thing, right? But I think now with Donald Trump, and I guess it's part of the good thing about him, is that he kind of pushed it to a forefront and pushed all of these we're talking about policy now. We're talking about how people affect everyone else. And I think going into 2024, it's going to be even more important to kind of show what can be, especially if Biden does things to benefit us. We can be like, hey, he did this, like he did that, like we got this stuff done. And with a new person, we can get even more stuff done. And so I think going into the primary debates in 2023, it's going to be important for the candidate that we choose to be able to push policy and be able to have solid message that people can get behind. So I think that's what we're missing right now. Biden didn't really have a solid message, and I think he struggled for it. And I think we can do a lot better if we do have a kind of this is what we want.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that all makes a lot of sense. Here's my problem. I'm concerned.
Okay.
There are two situations that we can go into moving into 2024. Let's clarify Joe Biden is not running for 2024. It's just not going to happen. But what is going to happen is either A, Joe Biden is alive, or B, hopefully, Joe Biden is dead. Those are the two options.
I think those are the two options in any situation.
Yeah,
You're
I
either
know, but
alive
I
or you're
feel like
dead.
okay, that's a fair point. But I feel like it's like more there like more are two options than there were in like in '08 going into 2012, we were like, okay, Obama, he's sexy AF, he's young AF, like he's probably not going to die, you know? And so like we could more
Okay.
reasonably be like, okay, in 2012, like he's going to run, we know what's going to happen.
Okay.
We can't do that with Joe Biden. Joe Biden is going to die soon. Joe Biden is a senile old crackpot who doesn't understand anything and is very stupid and also should be dead. And the only reason anyone voted for him or anyone cares about him is because Obama was like, I need an old white man who will not scare the old white men. And then he was like, that dude, the rando from Delaware. He could just as easily have chosen 15 other senators, 15 other governors, but he just decided on that one because, like, whatever. He thought he was fun and he liked his glasses. That's the only reason anyone cares about him.
Clear, I don't agree with this.
You don't agree with this? Oh, I definitely agree with this. That's why I said it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
going into 2024. So you know what's interesting? There hasn't been a time in modern political history, modern meaning after the party switch, sometime in the 19 Homina shows,
The Hominas, yeah.
Yeah. There hasn't been a time where someone from the same party going into election year has won who isn't the vice president.
Right.
Which is an issue, I think.
I think that's right.
I think history is like very important.
Yeah, history's not on our side right now.
Yeah, and there's a kind of there definitely is a sway. That's kind of like a soft rule.
There's a huge sway. So there's kind of there's sort of two different possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
One possibility is Harris, assuming Joe Biden dies.
Okay.
Which I think is a safe assumption, but assuming that Joe Biden dies, hopefully he does. When he dies,
Agree with that, but
Houston, you're much more like loving of people.
yeah, I don't think
than
people should die.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I know I know you think that people in power are for you and you their whole existence is to benefit you.
Correct.
Right. But
your job as president is to be my servant.
Fair.
That's your job.
It is.
Like literally.
I don't think you can tell people to die.
Well, okay, I would never tell like a servant if I had like a house servant. I wouldn't tell my house servant to die because they have not wronged me. But here's the deal. Let me clarify. If my house servant, one, was responsible for 300,000 deaths, if my house servant, two, was, refusing was also like torturing like many thousands of people on like a daily basis. If my house servant was, responsible for trillions of dollars of waste in an overseas conflict that wasn't necessary or beneficial to anyone. If my house servant like refused to provide the basic like obligations that I was paying them for. If my house servant like
yeah, I get it.
Then this murderer responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths died? Would I be that upset? Also, I don't know the president. They're not my friend.
Right.
I've met Biden once. It was the day before election day. He was coming through and he was wearing a mask and then like a real mask underneath it. He had like the like I am very cool and normal up and hip with the kids, like cloth mask, and then he had like a real PPE or whatever the fuck beneath it. But then I was furious with him because there was this adorable dog, which admittedly was an adorable dog, and this woman who had the dog, and he was like, "Oh, I want to pet the dog." And then the woman was like 2 feet away from him. I'm like, "Joe, you're not allowed to fucking die today. You're not allowed to get coronavirus today. Joe, it's one more fucking day. You're not allowed to do any bullshit. Fuck off. Don't fucking pet the dog, you little piece of shit." But he did pet the dog and I was furious. And I would have told him, but like, admittedly, and this is probably a good thing. Secret security is terrifying. So I was like, unlike the dog lady, I was like 10 feet away, and there was a Secret Service man standing there going, I'm Secret Service. And I don't understand why it's a Secret Service. They're not secret at all. The point is,
You're
that
right.
was a very unnecessary
It was a
rant.
very off tangent rant, but okay.
Unnecessary, did not benefit anyone, but I enjoyed it. The point is, I don't think that 2024 is likely to go to anyone other than Harris.
Sure.
It's hers to lose.
Yeah.
Can we beat her?
I don't know. I think we can do anything.
We can
Right?
do anything?
Right. We the people can do anything.
That's
Oh,
adorable and
I We the
untrue.
People hat. I have a We the People
Do
hat.
you really? That's really cute.
I'll
I
wear
think
it.
that that's like an adorable thing for you to believe. I also think that it's bullshit, and I think deep
It
down
is
inside you
bullshit.
know that.
I
Yeah.
know, I do know that it's bullshit, but I think if we say it enough, maybe it'll come true.
You're like the little like train, you know, like the choo choo who can, you know. There's like a caboose book. There's like a little
Yeah,
children's
the little
book.
engine that can.
The little engine that can. That's the one. And you're just like chugga chugga chugga. I will go up this hill.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did it
Yeah.
eventually. He did it.
And he did it eventually. That's right. He did
Right.
do it eventually. It's also a children's book, and real life is not always as nice as
Sure.
children's book. But
But I
yeah.
think we can do it if we have the right message. Because, like, as you said, it is hers to lose, and I do think she has the the room to lose it. Like,
Mhm.
it's not guaranteed to know to any extent, and it could be beneficial if she. I guess it also depends on how she kind of puts herself in the public eye. Like, if she is like Mike Pence was in this past 4 years, who, like, we didn't really hear much from. He wasn't in the news that often. He didn't. We don't like. I don't really know anything he's really done as vice president. But, like, um, if he's more like Joe Biden was as vice president, who's like does things and like is involved,
Right.
and like people get to know her like initiatives, like what she's pushing for, I think she can kind of set herself up for victory in 2024. And then I guess it also just depends on what the other Democratic establishment is up to. Like, is Elizabeth Warren gonna run again? Like, how is she prepping herself for that
She's
2024
fucking
run?
old.
Right, but Bernie Sanders ran, like,
Bernie can't run.
no.
Bernie can't
Yeah.
run. Bernie's too old. Bernie's too schlubby. Bernie's too Jewish. It's not going to work. Admittedly, Warren is too woman, but so is like Harris. So there's that.
Harris
Yeah.
is also black and Asian, so
There's also that, which is also like, yeah.
that's
a
also
thing.
like not good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I hot take.
Hmm?
I know, like, I'm a black person,
Yeah.
but I really don't think it's funny. I was having this discussion with my grandma because she also didn't think Harris was the pick. She was like, "You can't choose this black woman to run." She was like, "Choose a nice old white man and just like do the thing and do it safely." And I was like, "Yeah, I totally agree, grandma." Like,
Well, I do think that, I mean, so he did it. He did promise to choose a woman, and came close to promising to choose a black woman during the primary, which I think what was potentially a necessary step in the primary in order for him to win that. And then after the primary, he can't go back on his word, or everyone's going to get triggered.
was it necessary though?
In the primary?
Right.
Well, he was
I
sitting
feel
there.
like we were all
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, he's not doing well. Like, people aren't voting for him. Like, he's not performing well in the debates. Like, he's gonna crash
Yeah.
and burn. Everyone's gonna be done." But then, like, he did well in the primary debates. Like, after that, like, what was it, South Carolina?
I
And then
forget
everyone
the
else
other states. Yeah.
everyone else dropped out, and it was just like, I really don't think that was because he said he was going to pick a vice president, a female vice president. I really don't think that was because of his performance in the debates getting marginally better. Maybe I just think it
Yeah.
was like his brand and his power, like his name.
I think his
recognition.
brand is also very much tied to Obama,
Right.
the legacy of Obama. And I think that in order for him to be able to transition into his own sort of top of the ticket power, he needs to be seen as sort of building up the next generation of Obamas.
Interesting. Yeah,
And
I guess
so
so.
I think he definitely had to choose someone who was much younger than him. There's no question
Right.
about that.
Yeah.
So like there was never a place where he was going to be able to choose like an Elizabeth Warren. There was never a place, even though he hates, I mean, to clarify, he also hates Elizabeth Warren because Elizabeth Warren like really pushed him on banking in a way that he really didn't like. But like I am not convinced that he could have gotten away with like a Pete Buttigieg. I also say that as someone,
Well,
I also say that as someone who hates Pete Buttigieg because I'm anti-slavery. If
also
this is my
he's
hot
also
take,
gay.
yeah, he's also gay. That's
He's also
true.
gay though, so I mean like a
That's
straight
true.
white man.
Yeah. Do
Like
you think
a maybe
that's
a
true?
Beto. No, but he's
Beto
like too
could have.
Spanish.
Yeah, he is too Spanish. That's
I don't
true.
know.
Well, that's the problem. Like, who are the qualified white men? Who are the qualified straight white men? We
I
didn't
guess
have
none
any.
ran
We had
besides
Bernie was a
Biden.
straight white man. We had Biden was a straight white man.
But
It can't be John Delaney. He's a fucking idiot.
sure.
It can't be, what's his name? Tim Ryan. It can't be like Bullock. I don't even remember Governor Bullock's first name. I think he was from Missouri, but I'm not going to look it up, and I don't care. Um, like there were
Yeah.
no whites, and there were no. I mean, there were whites, but there were no white men who were straight and not Bernie or Biden.
Right. I mean, he could have plucked one. I don't know.
I guess you're right.
He could have just like plucked one from somewhere. Like, there's plenty,
There are
and they would have
plenty.
done fine.
There are
Anyway,
plenty.
we're here to talk about something else, though.
We are here to talk about something else. 40 minutes into the episode, we're here to talk about something else.
No, but I think it's about that though. Like it's
You
all
do?
connected.
It's
Yeah,
all connected, man. It's all
all
connected.
connected.
I'm really upset about this cough, and I don't know what it's from. It's not from coronavirus because I haven't left the house in like 20 days. But it's all connected, man. It's all
So
connected to 2024.
right, AOC in 2024.
Uh-huh.
What do we think about it?
Okay. There's a couple of things.
Right.
Thing one, she's a congresswoman.
Mm-hmm.
She's not experienced enough.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to become a senator. She could become a governor if she wanted, but not actually because Cuomo is going to destroy her.
Yeah, especially after this year, doesn't.
Yeah, Cuomo is governor for life now. I don't think he should be. I don't think he did a great job, but everyone thinks he did a great job. So Cuomo is governor for life now, which is unfortunate because I fucking hate him. But he's
social
governor for
media
life.
management.
Social media. I think that's exactly right. He did a great job on social media. He did a great job
The press
playing
conferences.
the press conference at an extremely high level. Yeah, he is the sort of the 9/11 mayor, and until he goes off and becomes Rudy Giuliani, I think everyone's gonna love him. I'm serious.
I hope he
Yeah.
doesn't, but
You hope he doesn't become Rudy Giuliani?
right.
Yeah.
Would be
Ideally, you don't
nice.
want to get to a point in your life where you're sitting there next to a literally criminally insane woman talking about how actually like the Grinch stole the election. That's not ideal. You don't want to be sitting there with, as you blow your nose and then get the booger side, turn it out so that the booger side is there, and then go like this on the booger side of the cloth. Ideally, you don't want to get there in life. Ideally, you don't want to get to the point in your life where there's literal ink from your from your terrible paint job, if you will, for your hair, and it comes seeping down your scalp, and it goes down off of your cheek, and just this bloody gooey mess. All of that is not ideal.
It's not ideal at all.
Even though I hate Cuomo, that's not my hope for him. My hope for Biden is that he dies in the next 4 years. Anyway,
AOC.
I think it's possible that she could
You think
become
it's
president.
possible?
That she become president at some point.
Yeah.
But I don't want her for 24.
No.
The reason I don't want her for 24 is because I think there is a 90% chance that we lose in 24.
Yeah.
That Harris wins in 24, at least the primary.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's an argument to be made that we wouldn't even run it at all.
Interesting.
I think that's a stupid argument. If you know you're going to lose, why run? Right? That's the argument. But I think we should still run. I think we should still run someone from the much further left side of the sort of party.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because I think that there's a benefit in reminding Harris that she needs to stay in line.
Right.
And that if she doesn't fuck with the left won't fuck with her.
Right.
So I want someone to run. I want it to be someone who is unlikely to become president in the future if they didn't run now.
Okay.
Or I didn't run in 24, rather. Basically what I'm saying is we're looking for our Bernie. Right? Keep in mind that like we're looking for our 2016 Bernie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
2016 was Clinton's to lose. Right? And she lost it because she's a fucking idiot. But it was hers to lose. Not even just in the primary, but in the general election. It was hers to lose. Yeah. From the get-go.
Yeah.
And people like Warren, who at that point was the sort of most powerful voice on the left, she wasn't going to run against Clinton because why the fuck would she?
Yeah.
That's not a good idea.
Yeah.
Bernie had nothing to lose.
Right.
Bernie was old. Bernie was not going to become president. He knew he wasn't going to become president. Bernie wanted to get 20% of the population to vote for a far left agenda. That was my sneeze.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a good sneeze. You didn't really, did you hear it? Did you hear my sneeze?
Yeah.
You heard my sneeze. Okay. He pulled the whole party to the left. And I think that he went into it with the presumption that he would lose. Now he came closer than anyone expected, including I think himself. But I think everyone knew he was going to lose. I think everyone on his own team knew he was going to lose. I think he certainly himself knew that he was going to lose, but he did it anyway. Mm-hmm. He did it anyway because he wanted to talk. He wanted to get the debate stage, and he wanted on the debate stage to force Clinton to really start talking about and grappling with a variety of issues that he was pulling up. That's the goal.
I think it worked.
And it worked because he certainly was able to pull Clinton to the left, and he absolutely pulled the party with her.
Yeah.
The going into this whole primary season, even the pretty sort of conservative members of the Democratic establishment, Biden included, were forced way to the left on a bunch of issues. Some of them that I agree with, some of them I don't. But it ended up happening because of the work that Bernie Sanders was able to do in 2016. We're looking
for someone like that.
We're looking for someone like that.
But who actually has a chance in the future election.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. We want to be building our bench through this campaign. We want to be not losing anything if we fail miserably. And we want to really be focused on the next generation of leadership specifically, because there's a lot of fucking old people, and I love my grandparents, but there's a point in every sort of relationship where you say, Dad, it's time to take away your car keys. That's a thing that happens, that children have to do to their parents and have to do for their parents. And it's time to say, Pelosi, we're taking away your car keys. It's time to say, Chuck Schumer, we're taking away your car keys. Biden, go die. Like it's time. It's straight up. It's time. It's past time. It has been time for a while. RBG is dead. They're all going to die soon. But in the meantime, we need to.
It's been time for like 30 years right now.
Say it again.
It's been time for 30 years.
It's been time for 30 years. Yeah, I don't know why Pelosi was ever a thing. But I guess she is, and I shouldn't say that. She's a thing because she's very good at getting money. Because rich people like her because she's a rich person and she's like, "Hello, my fellow kids." The point is, this is all immaterial. The point is, that's what we're looking for the 24 campaign. We're looking
Right.
for someone who can lose elegantly, just like
Yep.
Bernie did. Okay. I think that AOC, if we do terribly in 24, we want AOC's hands clean for 28. So I don't want AOC to run in
Sure.
24. I want someone who is AOC like to run in 24. Ayanna Pressley is a no. She's a no for a variety of reasons. She's a no because she is she's black, she's a woman, she's bald, she has cancer. Like those are all things that shouldn't matter but do matter.
Right.
And also because I don't think that she has the love and adoration of the Bernie left. Right? She supported Warren in the primary, and I therefore don't think that she can be the one. Okay. Ilhan Omar is corrupt, straight up. I think you should vote for her. Yeah, she is. She's corrupt. She funneled over $100,000 from her campaign to her husband. I shouldn't say it, rather, to her boyfriend's at the time campaigning management like team, and so he ended up getting a salary of like $100K from her campaign. That is corruption. Yeah, that's corruption. Point blank, that's corruption. Now, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't vote for her, because I'd rather have a corrupt lefty than a not corrupt right winger.
Sure.
Yeah. Unless you're diddling kids, like as a general rule, I just don't care. I just don't. Like I just don't care.
No, I agree.
There are other people who do care about like corruption and stuff. And so they're all like
smart.
Yeah, as a general, it's not
like,
smart.
On the left, I guess we can get into this in a different time, but I feel like it's really counterproductive to be like policing everyone, and like one wrong thing you do, you get canceled or you can't.
Yeah, I do think that corruption is a little bit different than, like you said, some stupid thing on Twitter.
No, but like I feel like it's a similar like mindset that we have, you know, where it's like you did something bad, no matter how bad it is, you can't be doing anything anymore, and then someone from the right can like whoop in and take it. It's like I prefer we had like the corrupt lefty than the other person.
Right. Now, to be clear, this is the Doug Jones argument here.
What I said?
Yeah, what we both just said. This is the Doug Jones argument. This is why the Republicans are still in favor of the literal kid diddler. Yeah. But I also agree. Anyway, moving on. The point is, Ilhan Omar is a bad pick, because I think that there's a lot of dirt in her. There's a lot of skeletons in her closet, and I just don't want to have to deal with that. And I really, particularly, I don't think that it's good for the country. Yeah, I don't think it's good for the country if the first Muslim woman to run for president at a real level is like materially bad, you know, as a human being. Which, like, let's be real, she is materially bad as a human being. So not her.
Next.
X. Next. Thank you. Next. Sorry. Okay. The point is number one, that I'm a big fan of Ariana Grande. Not actually. I don't know anything other than that. I'm really proud of myself. Concerts. Did you really?
It was really cool. Yeah.
Was it? I want to go to a concert. Oh, Houston. I really want to go to a concert. This freaking coronavirus thing. The point is, I'm very easily distracted. You need to stop distracting me. I'm just kidding. Continue. It's fun. The point is that Rashida Tlaib. What do we think?
Who?
Rashida Tlaib. She's a member of the Squad.
Is she? I don't know. I don't know her.
Rashida Tlaib is interesting. I think that she could be okay. I think she has a bit of like a bully attitude,
Mm.
which I'm okay with. Like I have no beef with like bully members of Congress. In fact, I kind of like them. But she has like a sort of a fighter framework in a sort of like a little bit like rough and tumble kind of way. To clarify, all of this has nothing to do with policy. I don't think that we're looking at this from a policy perspective. I don't think we should be looking at this from a policy perspective. It's not about policy at all. We're talking about like popularity contest, who can beat or at least do well against Harris. That's the question. Right. That's the only question. Nothing else matters.
No.
She's got like a bully. Let's pull up a speech by Harris real quick. Give me a second.
Okay.
Okay. Rashida Tlaib, impeach the motherfucker. The mother
MFA
fucker. I never typed with one hand before, but I did a pretty good job, I think. We're going
she's
to
a Dan
impeach the
Savage fan.
motherfucker. She's a Dan who fan?
Or she's a Dan Savage fan.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
ITMFA originated from him.
Here we go. Here's Rashida Tlaib.
You didn't share the sound.
Oh my goodness. I'm so terribly sorry. I am a fool.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
We're starting over.
People love you and you win. Woo! And when your son looks at you and says, Mama, look, you won, bullies don't win. And I said, baby, they don't. Because we're going to go in there, we're going to impeach the motherfucker.
So that's like a powerful attitude. I like her attitude.
It is.
This is Rashida Tlaib. For those who don't know, this one here is Rashida Tlaib. That's not Rashida Tlaib. That's also not Rashida Tlaib. That's definitely not Rashida Tlaib. I don't know who the fuck that kid is, but I don't like him. The point is, yeah, that's Rashida Tlaib.
She is powerful.
She is powerful. She's a member of the squad. I think she's a strong idea. She's like a very good idea. Yeah. Okay. So I think she's a reasonable pick. But I also think that she might be a little bit close to AOC. And I think it would be very difficult. One of the problems of the 2016 election is it kind of dirtied Warren in terms of her relationship with Bernie.
Right.
And that's dangerous. We don't want to choose someone who's too close, too on the nose to AOC, because we don't want to bloody AOC's hands due to that relationship, either with the left because she's refusing to endorse, which, by the way, she shouldn't endorse, whoever it is, or because she's too close and she does endorse. Right? Both of those are bad ideas. Either endorsing or not endorsing someone who's super close to you is a really dangerous option.
Right.
So it can't be a member of the squad. So that's sort of a unfortunate thing, but it is a thing, which leaves us with a couple of options. The first option that it leaves us with is Katie Porter, Congresswoman Katie Porter. We like Katie Porter. We like Katie Porter a lot because Katie Porter has a whiteboard. Katie Porter is mini Elizabeth Warren. That's who she is. She was a student of Elizabeth Warren in college. She was a very good student. Doesn't shock anyone. And I think that she has like a really good attitude in terms of that, in terms of like her relationship with the press. So we're going to watch a nice little Katie Porter.
I think we should just move on.
You don't think?
No, we're getting close.
We're getting close. Oh no, oh my God, we're getting close. You're totally right. Okay, so Katie Porter's an option. The final option that I think is Sharice Davids, who no one's ever heard of. But admittedly, in 2016, no one had heard of Bernie Sanders. Okay. Sharice Davids, she's from Kansas, which is an interesting place.
So interesting.
So interesting.
That's where the tornado hit, right? And Dorothy
Maybe.
to
Maybe. Oh yeah. From Wizard of Oz. I thought you meant a real tornado. Yeah, that's definitely yeah. I don't know anything about Kansas at all. I know they
Me
have
neither.
farms, and I know that
it's a rectangle.
it's a rectangle. Yeah, it's one of those states that like there's no actual geography happening here. So we're just like, yeah, for the blue, and then the floop floop flap, you know, because they didn't actually have like real geography to go off of at all. There are no rivers. There's no like, there's nothing. No mountain range, nothing.
It's just Kansas.
It's just Kansas. It's flat, and then it's more flat, and then there's more flat land, and that's Kansas.
Anyway, she is an interesting pick. She's pretty left.
She's pretty left.
She's a woman.
She is a woman.
She's a minority.
She is a minority. She's a Native American.
Right. Which would be really cool.
Which would be very interesting. She's also a fucking badass. She did a bunch of like the UFC stuff, right? Or MMA. I shouldn't say UFC. She wasn't part of the UFC. MMA. I know a lot about the sports ball. I mean the smacky sport. My fault. Smacky sport is different than sports ball. Right. Yeah, I don't know anything about any sports. This is something that you will learn about me if you are new, and this is something that you already know about me if you are old. The point is that like I think that she has, number one, a definite ability to get Joe Rogan on her side. There's like no question in my mind at all that Joe Rogan would love Sharice Davids. But also she's able to pull in, I think, a pretty obvious case that hers is an audience that is like clearly right. Hers is a relationship rather with the broader community of a badass, right? Her mom was a colonel in Germany. She was born on a base like John McCain. Her mom, by the way, her mom, not her dad, her mom was a colonel, which is cool. She is like, she was there at the Dakota Access Pipeline. We're gonna be talking about water later. She's like very, very heavily involved in water rights and indigenous rights. She's heavily sort of involved in all of that, and yet also she was able to flip her seat by like 15 points, right? Which is insane. And she's
also in the transportation department.
She's in the transportation department.
So she knows a bit about that too.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, she's a person who is both talented enough to get the job done, and also I think has the power behind her. I would like to propose, because it's been an hour at this point, I would like to propose that we come back next week with a secondary episode. And the second episode is going to defend. You're going to defend one person, and I will defend another. So the two people that I think are worth defending are Katie Porter and are Sharice Davids.
Right.
Who do you want to take?
I'll take Katie Porter because I don't know anything about her.
You'll take Katie Porter.
Right.
All right.
We'll do some research.
We'll do some research. All right. We love you all.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
They should right? They should like things.
Yeah. Like us.
Like us. We like you, so you should like us.
Right.
That's how liking things work. I agree.
Right.
Yeah, we adore all of you.
Share, like, comment, and subscribe, and share. Share with your friends.
Share. Dude, you gotta share.
Yeah, get conversations. Part of why we're doing this is to get conversations started.
This is true.
Conversate yourselves. Conversate with. Right.
Converse. Yeah.
I like conversate. I always say conversate.
You like conversate? I like conversate.
No, it's not a word, but like.
Irrelevant. Words are words. Here's my hot take. Words are words when we use them.
I love that.
And with that.
Enjoy.
I love you all.
I hope you enjoyed our quibble over coffee, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.